Welcome everybody to today's math topic, solving multi-step equations. Now this is the third video in this series where we're going to take things from the single-step equations video and the two-step equations video and kind of just mash them together in these nice big old equations that are going to be super easy to solve once you get the hang of it. So with that being said, grab your pencil and paper. Let's get right to it. Here I have two different teacher examples. I want you to go ahead and pause the video right now, write these down, and then come back and we'll work through them together. Alright, so this first equation here on the left, I have 4x plus 9 equals 2x minus 5. What I want to do is I want to get my variable to one side first. And knowing that I have to have my variable as a positive at the end, I like to move my smaller x value over to the side where I have my larger x value. So being that I don't have any fractions or any multiplications to work out other than my coefficients in front of my x, these are basically like two sets of additions or subtractions. So I can go ahead and subtract my 2x from both sides. Now before I go further, I want to evaluate this out, try and shrink everything down, and then go to my next step. So if I do 4x minus 2x, that's going to give me a positive 2x. I did nothing with my plus 9, so that can come down. I have my equal sign. My 2x minus 2x gives me 0, leaving me with a negative 5 on the right. Now I want to get x by itself, and I have this 2 in front of it, so I know that's multiplication. So I look first, do I have any more additions or subtractions that I need to get rid of? And I have this positive 9. So I'm going to go ahead and do the opposite. Subtract 9 from both sides. My 2x comes down. My 9's are now gone. My equal sign comes down. And then I have a negative 5 minus 9. I'll draw this in purple. This will give me a negative 14. So now I have 2 times x, 2x. I want to keep x, so I want to divide everything that's next to it by both sides. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. My 2's are now gone, leaving me with just x. My equals comes down. I have negative 14 divided by 2, and that gives me a negative 7. So this one's finished up. Alright, let's try this next one. Here I have a negative x minus 2 equals 3x plus 14. Like I said, I want my x to be positive at the end, so I'm going to get rid of this negative x by adding an x to both sides. So these will cancel out. My negative 2 comes down. My equal sign comes down. I have 3x plus 1x. Remember, if we don't see a number in front of our x, we can assume there's a 1 in front of it. So I have 4x plus 14. So now I still see some more, addition or subtraction going on. I have a plus 14. I'm going to get rid of that by subtracting 14 from both sides. I have a negative 2 minus 14. Let's do this in blue. That'll give me a negative 16. My equal sign can come down. My 4x remained unchanged. I have done nothing with that so far. And then I have 14 minus 14 giving me 0. So now I see multiplication going on. I want to keep my x. I'm going to divide both sides by what's next to it, which is a 4. I get negative 16 divided by 4. That's going to give me a negative 4 equals my x. Or, as I like to write it, x equals negative 4. And then I'll put my box around it. Alright, not so hard, right? Alright, taking a look at this next example, we have a whole lot of stuff going on the left side of the equation. We have 2z minus 5 times z plus 1. And this is set equal to 3z plus 1. So before we move anything from the left side or the right side of the equation, we want to evaluate everything we can and then shrink it down as much as possible and then start looking for things to subtract, add, multiply, or divide from both sides. So with that being said, we did nothing with our 2z, so we can go ahead and drop that down right there. And I'll do these in different colors so you can kind of see what's going on. So here I have a negative 5 times a positive z. That's going to give me minus 5z. And then I also have a minus 5 times a positive 1. That's going to give me minus 5. So nothing happened with my equal sign. I can drop that down. We did nothing with 3z plus 1. So we can drop that down as well. Now, before we start adding or subtracting to the left or right side, like I said, we want to combine like terms. Here I have a z with a coefficient, I have another z with a coefficient, and then I just have a minus 5. So this minus 5 can't really combine with anything on the left, but I can combine this 2z and this 5z. So 2 minus 5 gives me a negative 3. My z comes down. I have minus 5. My equal sign will come down. And then I have 3z plus 1. So now I can move my z to one side of the equation. And being that I want it to be positive, I'm going to add 3z to both sides and get rid of that negative 3z on the left. Alright, so after I do this, my negative 3z's cancel out right there. My negative 5 comes down. My equal sign comes down. I got 3z plus 3z gives me 6z. And then my plus 1 comes down. Now I got 6z plus 1 on the right. I want to get z by itself, so I'll go ahead and subtract 1 from both sides. Negative 5 minus 1 gives me a negative 6. My equal sign comes down. 6z remains the same. And my 1's are gone. So now I have negative 6 equals 6z. So being that I want to keep my z, I divide by everything that's next to it. I'll divide both sides by a positive 6. Negative 6 divided by 6, I'll go ahead and write it here on the right since I'm running out of room, is going to give me a negative 1. I have my equal sign and then z. So negative 1 equals z, or as I like to say it, z equals negative 1. Alright, so that one was not so bad, a little tedious, but just make sure you pay attention to your positive and negative signs, especially when distributing throughout a set of parentheses. Alright, so here I have two student examples. Go ahead and pause the video, work through them, come back, and I'll work through them with you. So here I have negative 2x minus 9 equals 2x plus 11. I'm going to move my 2x to the right by adding, well, not 2z, 2x to both sides. So now I have a negative 9 equals 4x plus 11. I have my x already on the right, so I'll go ahead and move this 11 over by subtracting 11 from both sides. I have a negative 9 minus 11, that's going to give me negative 20 equals 4x. I want to keep my x, so I'll divide both sides by 4. Negative 20 divided by 4 will give me a negative 5 equals x. I'll write it as x equals negative 5. Alright, good work. So here I have 7y minus 3 equals 12y plus 2. I'll subtract 7y from both sides. Drop that down, gives me a negative 3 equals 5y plus 2. I'm going to subtract 2 from the right side and the left side. Negative 3 minus 2 will give me negative 5 equals 5y. Now I'll divide both sides by 5. Negative 5 divided by 5 is a negative 1 equals y. Y equals negative 1. Alright, great work. One more for you guys. Alright, so I'm going to drop down my 12a. I have a negative 3 times a positive 2a. That's going to give me minus 6a. I have a negative 3 times a negative 4. And remember, a negative times a negative gives you a positive. So I'll put a positive 12 there. Equals 24 plus 3a. Now I want to combine my like terms. Here I have 12a minus 6a. So that's going to give me 6a. I have plus 12 equals 24 plus 3a. So let's go ahead and move our 3a to the other side by subtracting 3a from both sides. I now get 3a plus 12 equals 24. I'm going to move my 12 by subtracting 12 from both sides. My 3a will come down, and I get positive 12. I want to keep my a, divide both sides by 3. Again, I ran out of room, so I'll write it on the side. I have a equals 4. 12 divided by 3, giving me 4. And I know that's what you guys got because you guys are doing fantastic. So that's it. That's pretty much the majority of the types of solving equations that we're going to run into. You'll see them, frontwards and backwards, but just apply all the same techniques and principles that you've seen throughout the 3 videos, and you're going to do great. So try a couple more on your own. And again, I wish you the best of luck.